a workshop brought to you by, I don't know, whatever Josh puts on the screen. MyFavoriteLender.net. MyFavoriteLender.net. That'll work perfect. So here it is. I'm seeing these things going across. And I'm going to go back to my days of starting in lending. And we had something back then called a pre-qualification. And that's all we really dealt with at that time was pre-qualifications. And basically it said that, now again, you got to remember, this goes back a long time. And that was when lenders actually, you sat across the table from a borrower and maybe you knew them, maybe you didn't, but you can qualify somebody pretty quickly. Pre-qualify. Wasn't a whole lot of paperwork involved. Now, I was chatting with Jim Norton earlier today, and we were talking about the days of 2005, 2006, 2007, probably 20 years after I started lending. But back in even in the 05s, right? How did you qualify for a loan?
Fogged a mirror.
Well, if you could fog a mirror, that's all it took, right? No big deal. So we got past the pre-qualification day and we went to pre-approval. What is a pre-approval? So a pre-approval basically means that a lender, maybe a loan officer, collects documents, collects paperwork, looks at it. They have a good idea. Some of them know how to interpret income. Some don't. They all think they do. And they put it into a system. It's called desktop underwriter or loan prospector, depending upon what you're using. And it spits out and says approved eligible or approved refer or not approved, all these different things. Now, what is that good for? Because I get people all the time that'll call us and they say, well, my realtor wants to see the DU, desktop underwriter, the automated approval. AUS is another acronym for it. Automated Underwriting System. And they want to see that. Why? Because they think it means something, which I'll tell you this right now. An automated underwriting, AUS, is only as good as the person that puts the data in. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I can get an approved eligible anytime I want because I know what it's looking for. So you put in the garbage in that it wants to see, and it comes out saying approved eligible because you put in garbage knowing that that's what somebody wanted to see. You go the other step of it, and somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, a broken clock is correct twice a day. So they put in the wrong things, and maybe they'll get an approval, maybe they won't, but they didn't look at it properly. So that's called the pre-approval. Now we go to the next step, became a pre-underwrite. And it'll go by a lot of different names. Sometimes it goes by, and these are names that I've used in the past, because as the time progresses, we get some of these different issues. So a pre-underwrite went by fast pass or all these different names. It basically, this is the best type of an approval until recently. What a fast pass or a pre-underwrite does is all the documentation is sent to an underwriter. Now, an underwriter who's licensed as an underwriter, gone through all the training, the underwriter looks at all the documentation, the income, the assets, the liabilities, the credit report, something called a fraud guard report, LexisNexis, and the underwriter says, yes, I approve this loan subject to whatever conditions there might be. And all you need at that point is you need an address and you need title report and an appraisal. So that's the next level of this. And a lot of people are going out there saying, I've got this fast pass or I've got a pre-underwrite. This is great. This is wonderful. Until we get to the modern version. What is the modern version? It's something that we've taken on in the last year or two. We take that pre-underwrite to the next level. So we've got the pre-approval letter that most realtors want if you're going to look at making an offer. But we're putting on there, okay, these are the different loan programs. It's really put together a full dashboard for you. Here's the loan programs that we're looking at. Here's the prices that we're approved to. Here's some contingencies that we've already thought about. Taking it all to the next level, but it's way beyond what some people are saying is the underwrite, because the underwrite is now old. And I'll tell you how old it is. The California Association of Realtors actually has a box on there that you can check that says this file has been pre-underwritten. So just getting off my soapbox, make sure you're getting the modern pre-approval. Don't take any other copycats. The modern pre-approval is what you want. It's a dashboard. Generally, it's going to have a video from the loan officer saying, this is what we've done. This is what the due diligence that we've done. Here's the findings that we have. And it gives you all the information you need to go forward. And in many times, and I'm going to put this on some of our social channels. We've actually got, and I should have given this to Josh to put in here today. We've actually got documentation of loans closing 7 days, 9 days, because the lender does the due diligence up front.